Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Laststandgamers, and welcome. So today we're taking a look at another really cool creation from the Steam Workshop. Here in front of us we have a submarine, but not any submarine. This submarine actually features itself in another game called Subnautica. Now you can see it's quite a cool design. It actually reminds me in the rear section here where the rudder is of a little submarine from a really old TV show. I can't pinpoint it in my head. Maybe one of you guys will remind me in the comment section. But taking a look around the front here, we've got this awesome glass cockpit area that surrounds the ship. And I will say this is not a vanilla design. There is some modded blocks using it. Do with it as you will, you know. Let's have a look around the side though. So coming away from the glass, we have these cool little escape pods. Let me dip inside here so you can get a little bit of a flavour for them. So we've got 4 of them. The escape pod itself, the door opens up, you jump in inside, I'll show you how these work in a moment, and they launch out like so. Wrapping around the bottom, we've also got another little escape hatch down here, so let me spawn my character in. We might have to give him admin position. Yeah, let's give him admin so he doesn't run out of juice. That wouldn't be good. We can pop the hatch open and we can gain access to the submarine from under there as well. Really cool little feature, and it's an auto hatch so it'll close up after. You can see as it's doing there. So passing the escape pods, we've also got ourselves some nice little details going on here. So these are the anchors. These shoot a rope into the ground that lock it into place, and we've got the cargo bay here. Inside the cargo bay, you might be wondering what's going on in here. We've got ourselves a walker, a little mech with magnetic arms. Really cool indeed. I'll show you how that functions in a moment. And we've also got this other small little ship here, just like in Subnautica, so you can have a good play around. Now coming around the back, we've got these little nacelle thrusters that help the ship move along, and we've got the main rudder and propeller system back here. Just looking at this makes me worry as a Space Engineers player, to be honest, with all these rotors in place like that. We've also got these little fins that could be moved up and down, so maybe affect the roll of the submarine. We've got another large rudder up here as well. Really cool. Along the top deck, we've got another entrance hatch. We've got a little conning tower with communications array and another entrance hatch through here as well. So that's pretty much all of the exterior. So let's go inside. So entering into the cockpit, we have the cockpit split into a few sections. We've got a side desk here with various different readouts. So we've got damaged block readouts, we've got the Atlas submarine, oxygen generator information, everything you need there to kind of help the captain out. So on the captain's seat itself, he's got control to pretty much everything, get all the systems working, and he's got a simple layout that floats there in front of him. And with all this glass, it's really great to have a look through. So on the main deck itself, we can go up, or we can go down to the lower deck down there. So that is where the escape pods are located, and that's where the hatch is. So the first thing I want to show you is these escape pods. So let's turn off our lights to get a little bit of a sense of the ambience in here. So you can see there is extra lights down here, and as we open up these cool little modded doors, we look at the little hatch and we press F on the chair, it seals up behind us, and we hit launch. That then starts a countdown timer, and you'll see it happen. I'm not too sure which one we ended up jumping in, and the little rescue pod will drop off the side, float away from the submarine. There we go. Float away from the submarine and rise to the surface. I think these are really cool. I think it's a little bit scary when you're inside and you can't really see what's going on, but a nice little escape pod idea, especially with working with the water mod. It can be difficult to do that. So let's pop ourselves back inside. So going inside here, we'll move our character around. We have the docking bay. So this is the lower portion of the docking bay with the 2 ships that I showed you before. We'll have a little bit more of a look at them when we come to pilot them. We enter into a maintenance shaft that leads us to the rear of the ship. This is using some of the neon blocks, but they've just painted them black so they look like pipe work. You see a lot of people doing that. Up here, we've got ourselves, of course, a restroom. Really important on any build. I mean, maybe you need some shower and other facilities, but we've got the engine room here at the back. So moving into the engine room, you can see we've got the reactor. We've got these really cool layouts with the block damage, so if a part does become damaged, we can have a look. We've got the side, back and front layouts, everything's green for the moment, and then we've got the engine itself. So we've got a main engine, and then we've got the nuclear reactor, so you could run this maybe above the surface and then run that when we're underwater, and that moves down to this cool little prop shaft that spins and rotates around, pushing everything into this engine bay, And then we've got rear and forward thrust all compacted down into this rear thruster housing. Really cool, really fun little idea that they've done there. So as we move away from the actor room, we're going to drop up a floor. Instead of going down, we're going to go to deck 3. So into deck 3 we have the airlock. I'll spawn myself in and quickly show you one of these. These are pretty damn cool. So you can just see it's F, like so. We slide ourselves out, we can do some work, and it looks like a connector from the offset. That's quite cool. So if these were both connectors and hatches, it would be interesting to see if you could connect through the hatches themselves. Close that back up and we'll enter into the hallway. So this is like a living quarters, the main sort of deck. We've got these cool little bunk bed mods, a little locker there for storage and controls for the room, and a tiny little window. The same again on the other side, just repeated. And then we've got the lab space, because you're going to be taking in samples, you're going to be doing different bits of research, so it's important that you have various different lab tables running them experiences and little crazy experiments that you'd be doing on the various wildlife you'd found down here, or plants, or or just the seabed sample, depending on what you're doing. So we've got ourselves a lounge, very nice indeed, and then we're at the main airlock itself. Main airlock takes us back up to the bridge, wraps around, and then we've got the central deck. So in the central deck we have a readout of the bed, so we can see which areas we can navigate through. Of course it's just an image for the moment. It'd be cool if it actually showed us the seabed. And then we've got access to the pods themselves. So currently we are anchored to the ground floor, so I'm going to show you these little ships and then we'll take the big one for a spin. So this button here on the left access the little hatch that's below us, and when this slides away it gives us access into it like so. So we're going to take the walker down first. So just looking down we can grab control like that. You hear a little welcome message, listen. So hatch opens and listen. Welcome aboard, Captain. Very cool, very nice little part there. And if we go through we actually have a launch sequence, dock, and then we've got hatch prawn open. So we can release that. We can also release that there as well, and we've fallen out because I pressed the wrong button. But there you go. It drops off, falls down to the seabed. And you might think, just have they spent the time getting this walker to work? Well, let me tell you, this walker is damn cool. So firing up the walking controls, we can actually move this with W, S and D. That I think is fantastic. This is the run setting. There is also some walk ones. How awesome is that? That walk just has some real movement behind it. And of course it would not be complete if we stop ourselves there. You can see the little legs go down. We move on to our next option. We can also move the claws about. So we've got claw movement there. We can move the claw, of course, back, up and around. And we've also got extension. That is a little bit fast for me, but you could use it to grab things and manipulate them. And you could also dock this back up if you wanted to. It's a little bit more tricky docking it, so we'll save that for either another time or not in this video. So we've got ourselves the other ship to have a look at. So let's pop our character in up here again. And with this one it's a little simpler. So we've already got the hatch open below. He welcomes us aboard, or she welcomes aboard, depending on what sort of robot she is. And then we've got ourselves the launching procedure once again. So we drop this down, it launches us out, and it closes the hatch up. Okay, maybe the hatch should have been closed because now we're sealed inside here. Okay, so it's trying to push that little craft down. Oh, that's not going to end well for it. Maybe we can reactivate it or something to change the systems. Because we're getting a little bit of a jam up against the side. Let's see if there's any other docking procedures that we've missed out on. That's the control. I'm panicking. I'm going through the controls here. So there's nothing extra on that one. Oh, there is a lock setting, so we can reattach. Yeah, so there we go. We've reattached. Let's reactivate the docking. There we go. That's how it's supposed to work. Well, we're supposed to go down, but we've just kind of done it the wrong way because we broke it with the other thing. Aaron, you're always breaking bloody things. Let's see if we can do it one more time. Yeah, it's not going to work this because we've broken the sequence on the timer, so it's going to close every time it lowers down. But you'll have to take my word for it. The Seamoth does launch, if we cut it out like this, it does launch if you launch it in the correct sequence, like so, and then you can fly it around. It's got a cool little reactor in the back there. Let's pop our character over, grab ourselves some controls, and there we go. This one's pretty much just your standard sort of ship. It does have some power-based issues, but we could top up the reactor and maybe change that up. With this one as well, you can see it's got cruise control. It's also got an auto level there and gyroscopes. So a cool little craft. Let's have a go at piloting the big guy itself, though. This is going to be a challenge, and it's going to explode. Or maybe I shouldn't have said anything about that. So now that we're inside the big ship, we head to the cockpit. We fire up our systems. So the buttons along the bottom, we're going to hit number 4. That'll enter us into a basic forward mode. But, oh no, we've not detached our safety thing. So let's press number 7. That'll take our ropes away. And then we'll travel forward. Very nice indeed. Got to be careful. There might be an explosion coming up, because these big submarines always tend to explode. So there we go. We're doing well for the moment. We're traveling. We're moving at some speed. We can also access the higher speeds if we want to. So let's hit number 6. So that's the high speed mode of the submarine. We're getting about 8 meters a second. We're going slightly over that. There's a lot of resistance in the water mod, so this is pretty fast for a submarine. So let's take that to a stop. Hit number 3. That'll slow us down like that. We have got very slow gyroscopic movement, but we can move around if we want to. We have to really control that rudder though to do so at the back. You see how the rudder's turning, and then when them rudders turn like so, they will allow me to shift. So as I hit the W key down, you can see all the rudders. Oh damn it, we've lost the rear end, it's fallen off. That's not good. But yeah, as I was showing the rudders, they do turn, they do maneuver, but I've had that explode on me twice. Now I'm guessing it could either be a part of Subnautica itself, because I do believe one of the submarines does explode, or it could just be how them parts are connected up. But still a really cool build, and I recommend that you check this out, especially if you're a fan of any of the water builds. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.